let's get right into it. In the 16th century, there was a food that, if you ate it, you could be hanged. No, it wasn't drugs or illegal substances, it was tomatoes. Europeans at the time believed tomatoes contained deadly poison, and they called them apples of love. But that love could kill you. And tomatoes are just one of the killer foods you wouldn't believe. Today, you can walk into any supermarket, grab a cherry tomato, pop it in your mouth without a second thought. But 500 years ago, that act could have made you a criminal. Or at least a madman. So what about other foods? The things you eat every day, thinking they're healthy and harmless. But in the past, they were considered killers. And today we're going to count down 10 foods that seem healthy, but were once seen as killers by our ancestors. Let's begin. Number 10, tomatoes, the silent killer. That's right, tomatoes. The fruit you eat raw, cooked, in sauce, in soup. The fruit Italians can barely live without. But in the 16th century, when tomatoes were first brought from South America to Europe, people looked at them like they were looking at a bomb. Why? Because Europeans at the time, especially the nobility, ate tomatoes off pewter plates. And tomato juice is acidic. It leached lead from the plates into the food, and they died. Not because tomatoes were poisonous, but because the plates killed them. But they didn't know that. They only saw eat tomato leads to die. So they concluded, tomatoes are poisonous. And so for 200 years, Europeans feared tomatoes like they feared venomous snakes. They called them poison apples. Sounds ridiculous, right? But if you lived back then, you'd be scared too. Because whoever ate tomatoes, they died. Basically, tomatoes weren't the killers, the plates were. But tomatoes took the blame for over 2 centuries. Number 9, potatoes. The devil's root, potatoes. Cheap, filling, easy to grow. Known as the savior of famine in Europe. But did you know when they were first brought from South America, Europeans didn't want to touch them? And the reason is a little bizarre. Because potatoes grow underground, and because they're not mentioned in the Bible, people concluded they were the devil's food. Some European countries actually banned potato farming for decades. In France, people believed eating potatoes would cause leprosy, a horrific skin disease at the time. And it didn't stop there. In England, the first farmers who grew potatoes were taxed specially, as if they were growing drugs or contraband. A man named Sir Walter Raleigh, who brought potatoes to Ireland, was actually stoned by a mob just for daring to grow this tuber. Basically, potatoes were once considered Satan's food. Today, you eat them as French fries without a thought. But if you lived in 17th century Europe, you'd be stoned for holding a potato. Number 8, truffles, the devil's food, or king of mushrooms. Truffles. Expensive, luxurious, called the diamond of cuisine. A kilogram of white truffles can cost up to $10,000. But did you know that ancient people once considered them the devil's food? In ancient Roman and medieval times, people saw truffles growing underground, near tree roots, with no leaves, no flowers, no signs of normal life. They appeared mysteriously, as if planted by demons. They believed truffles were born from lightning, and whoever ate them would be cursed. In the Middle Ages, the Catholic Church even banned monks from eating truffles, believing they caused impure carnal desires. Yes, truffles were considered the devil's aphrodisiac. Today, 5-star chefs sprinkle truffles on dishes like they're gold. But just a few hundred years ago, it was a forbidden food, considered black magic. Basically, from demonic to Michelin star, quite an impressive career trajectory. Number 7, corn, the poor man's food that was looked down on. Today, corn is everywhere. Popcorn, cornbread, cornmeal, animal feed. It's cheap, easy to grow, and everyone eats it. But did you know that medieval Europeans considered corn food for ignorant peasants and completely refused to eat it? When Columbus brought corn back from the Americas, it was dismissed as food not for civilized people. Europeans at the time believed corn caused rickets and made people coarse and less intelligent. Some even believed corn was the cause of plagues. It took over 100 years for corn to be gradually accepted in Europe, mainly because people had no other food options. And today you eat corn without knowing it was once considered pig food. Basically, corn hasn't changed, but people have, just very slowly. Number 6, bitter almonds. If you don't know how to eat them, they'll kill you. This is an interesting case, and dangerous. Almonds come in 2 types, sweet and bitter. Sweet almonds you can eat freely. But bitter almonds contain a massive amount of cyanide. Just 50 raw bitter almonds, and you're dead.
Goodbye and see you next time. Like and subscribe for me.